You're listening to Suburban Happy Hour with Anne-Marie
and Julia
and Hailey,
the podcast where we make delicious cocktails
or mocktails
and talk about everything under the sun.
Because the best conversations happen at happy hour. Welcome back to yet another episode of Suburban Happy Hour. This week we are joined by Miss Hailey Hinton. Hey, girl. Her drink of choice was something light, refreshing, perfect for the summer. A nice little strawberry lemonade. So non-alcoholic for all three of us.
So is pink lemonade the same as strawberry lemonade or no?
No,
I don't know.
That's the thing we didn't clarify. No, like strawberry lemonade, I always take the lemonade from work in the fountain.
Yes.
So like this, and then there's like a puree you can squeeze into it.
Oh,
So no.
see?
Strawberry. So this is technically pink lemonade.
Is pink lemonade.
This is pink lemonade. Correction,
But there's
ladies and
strawberries in
gentlemen.
it.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I just topped it off, make it look a little fancy. But
Okay. Either way, I haven't had
So
one
what
in a
is
long
pink
time.
lemonade?
It's just like
Just pink? Just is that? Does it taste?
I actually don't know. I would like to unpack that at some point in my life because a lot of people
It definitely
at work
tastes
ask me, they're like, I
different.
want pink
Ugh.
lemonade. I'm like, does it?
I think
From
it
regular
does.
Lemonade?
Mm-hmm. But it tastes different
It's
than
kind of
strawberry.
giving medicine.
Yeah.
Like it?
I like it. I
Okay,
like
as long
that
as
little
you guys like
medicine
it.
taste.
Nobody cares about me.
I like it. But
Okay.
yes.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, whatever. Besides the freaking drink, let's get into this episode, okay?
We've got a lot to unpack today.
Yeah,
We do.
unfortunately.
So with this one, we're just going to jump in straight to our check-ins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any check-ins. Actually, never mind. I don't. Go ahead, Amory.
I don't think I do either.
Life's just been okay, here's my check-in.
Guys, are
Work
you
has
for
been
real?
stressing me out. I don't want to be negative, but I'm just in a funk lately, but that's okay. We all get into our highs, our lows. I'm kind of at my low right now. Nothing traumatic, bad, whatever. Just life is just a lot right now, and that's okay. So that's my check-in. I've been
mean,
better.
I guess I can attest to that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't want to share anything.
Right. And it is what it is. We can't
Yeah.
always be happy, guys.
Yeah.
that.
But I'm
Honestly,
excited for Hailey's check-in.
I know.
God. So many things, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, my check-ins. Let's see. So I was just in New York last weekend. It was very hot. It was for a reason I wouldn't normally go out there, let's just say. So yeah, that's a story we'll unpack later.
Okay.
And it's your first time hearing it.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
so very excited to hear
You
about
knew
this.
you knew why I went out there, but you didn't know, like, you didn't hear the aftermath of
Right.
it.
I don't. Yeah. I just had a very, like, a little teaser where it was
You had,
like,
like, a baseline of how it
yeah.
was going.
I said, oh, shit. This is not what I was expecting to
Yeah.
hear back from you.
So
but
that's I would say that's like my main check-in. What else? Yeah, I mean that's really it. I was mostly preparing for this trip that I just went to New York on, and trying to like pack for that and
Yeah.
not spend a bunch of money. But overall it was fine. But that's
Okay.
like my main check-in.
So this is going to be more so a story time episode, and I'm very excited. Well, how are your 20s treating you so far?
Yeah, I mean they're good. I feel like there's a lot of ups and downs, but it's also been like kind of a blur because pretty much since COVID, it's like, I mean, I guess I was 22 when COVID started, but like before that, I'm like, what did we do?
I
we
still
were
couldn't
having
tell
a
you what I
time.
did.
We were having a time before
yeah.
COVID, but pretty much since COVID, I feel like it's been a blur.
Yeah. We lived a lot of life before, like in our first 2 years of our 20s,
Yeah.
we lived a lot of life.
No, and once we were all
I don't even
21,
remember
we
that
lived
shit.
like
Yeah.
scared. Like we lived on the edge.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
scared
quick
for my
little
mental
backs-
and...
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just saying, little backstory blurb. We have known each other since at least all three of us since first grade.
Yes.
That's scary.
So we've really lived a lot of life
Yeah.
together.
That's correct. But yeah, they're good. I mean, I would say my 20s are just like, I mean, there's been exciting things, right? But I feel like for the most part, it's just kind of every day is the same. And I feel like that sounds so like whatever, but
Just kind of coasting by.
yeah, like you just have to do what you have to do, right? Like everyone's wanting to get to some goal. Like it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, that's literally, you're the first one that's like, it is what it is. You
I know, but
Because the
somet-
20s, I don't know. I
It's
just can't
hard.
wait till I'm fucking 30, y'all. I keep saying that, and if once I turn 30 and my life isn't like a 180, I'm gonna be fucking pissed because I'm hyping up my 30s so much.
You really are.
I really am. But no, I get it. I feel very much like you.
It's just hard because I think too people always, and I'm this way too, but I always look at the like, okay, what's next? And it's always like the fact of like you're never going to be happy if you keep looking to what's next. And that's very hard
quote.
to do. But
be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are, not where your head is.
I love that.
So important.
But I am trying to do that more, and I think COVID honestly was kind of a good lesson in that because the world really did take a turn.
Yeah.
Everything changed so much, just like, you know, with friend wise, and we all changed a lot too, right? Like not in bad ways, but just different. Like we just adjusted to life, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's just what it was. So yeah.
Would you say that there's anything that you've had to like overcome in your 20s that you weren't expecting to, or?
Yeah, I mean, how old am I? I'm 26. I really had to
Literally
think how
me.
old I was. I'm telling you, I still think I'm like a fucking 20-year-old child sometimes. I'm just a baby.
Literally.
I mean, yeah, I would say in terms of like overcoming stuff, yeah, like I've definitely had some like personal health issues that have, you know, really taken some time for me to like cope with. Other than that, I would say the biggest two, which I never really you never really think it's going to happen until it does, but like probably my grandma and grandpa like passing away.
Yeah.
Like that was really the only biggest thing. And I guess you know, again, you always think they're going to be alive forever, right? And then it's like they're not.
Right.
So I would say that, and then probably like my mom getting sick.
Yeah.
That was another big thing that was like a shock, because I also think that's one of those things you don't think it's going to happen to you or someone you love, or it's not going to happen to your mom or your friend. And then it does, and it's like, damn.
Like, holy shit.
It's real, yeah. So yeah, I would say luckily, like, if those are the biggest things I have to deal with, like, then, you know, I've been fine, right? Like, my grandma and grandpa were both sick. It's like, it was their time.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's
you know?
life,
And your mom is healthy now.
Yes, your mom
thank
is.
goodness.
Yes. And then the last one is there anything that you're like leaning into or trying to incorporate into your life? Any like routines, rituals, et cetera, that have helped you, or not really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say like trying to incorporate or things like that I want to do before I end my 20s. I definitely want to get a more like challenging job.
Okay.
And because I'm just kind of over my job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, which I feel bad saying because I am lucky that I have a job and it's so flexible and it's easy, but I just don't get paid enough. Again, it's the Capricorn in me. I'm like, I feel like I do so much work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to get paid more. And I just want to be challenged. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I've just been there for a while. I want something more fulfilling where I feel like I actually like am challenged.
Yeah. That's completely understandable.
That, and then I want to move out.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Yeah, I want my like cute little apartment in Chicago. I want to
And
be
you'll
like
have it.
I want to be a high-rise bitch with a pool, but it's so expensive.
It is, but
couldn't
once it's
even
meant for
imagine that
you,
life.
you'll have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially like leaning into a new job, you know, that might give you the
That's kind of
opportunity
like
to
the
do it.
domino effect I'm
Yeah.
hoping, right?
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
get that job where I can make a little more, and then
Yeah, even a job where you have to like go into the city and you know.
exactly.
That would
be
be
an
perfect because
excuse.
you live if you're
Yeah.
gonna live down there
Going
anyways.
to work though, that's a whole other.
I know
right.
you've
Oh,
gotten
man.
way too
It's bad.
comfortable in your
girl,
position,
this
but
girl works from home
fucking-
since she's been working in corporate and working from Miami, working
Oh,
from
yeah, she's living the freaking
Spain,
life.
working from California.
I gotta say, it is nice, but
Yeah.
there's cons, but I will say for me, I'm a work from home person.
Yeah.
Not
For sure.
everyone is though,
yeah.
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's nice.
Well, I'm excited to hear the story. Tell all. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, let's unpack.
I have to pull up my literal chapter book.
I'm so excited.
You
to
could
hear
probably
this,
write a
guys.
book from
No,
what
guys,
went
literally,
down.
This is what it's called. Big Bad Bronco. Brooklyn
The
Little
fact
League.
that you have it literally listed as the prologue.
No, yeah.
I'm
Because you need to
so
understand the
excited.
backstory of it. Okay,
Guys, this
so-
is, you guys are literally tuning into a little sit down on the couch right now. This is amazing.
Yes.
Go ahead. I want to hear it all.
Wait.
I'm so excited.
No, go ahead. What were you
No,
gonna
I was
say?
just going to say I'm excited. I'm surprised that it did not go well, but whatever.
I think you'll be not surprised.
Yeah,
when I
once you
tell
hear.
about,
Yeah.
like the prologue and like everything leading up to it was whatever. Also,
Okay,
my mom was like, "Do you think he'll see this? Like, what if he watches it?" I'm like,
Who
I
cares?
don't care.
Yeah.
but also like he's not really on Instagram, so I'm like, even if he does see it, like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you
But
could always just like block him from your story
Yeah.
if you post this. Like,
either
who?
way, like I don't care. Like I doubt he's gonna click on it and be like, oh, this is about me.
Right.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of like the best way to like explain it. Okay, so I met this guy when I was out in New York City, early June, visiting Deja and Serena,
Yes.
my two friends that live in New York. The last night we were there, we went out to this like clubby like dance place, and I met this guy there. He's 31. He lived in Brooklyn, or lives in Brooklyn. We kind of like hit it off. Like he came up to me in a very weird like way. Not weird, but he was
Wait,
like,
how?
Well, he
I don't
was
think I
like-
heard this part.
I heard this.
he was like, you are one of the most prettiest girls like I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like normally I'd be like, okay.
Ew.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, bye.
It was weird.
Thank
Like,
you.
It was kinda
Gotta
just,
go.
like- yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But then we started chatting, and I was like, okay, this guy actually seems like really cool. Like he was pretty funny. So that was that. End of the night comes around, and he was like, do you want to come back with me? And I was kind of like hesitant about it. I was like, I don't know. Like it was already like 3 a.m. Okay. And I was telling Deja and Serena this, and they're like, Hailey, like 3 a.m. in New York is like 11 p.m.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I feel
I'm
like
like,
that's a young hour there.
Birds are still chirping.
No, literally.
Yeah,
We're
my
still
ass is
out.
knocked out in REM.
And I always have like one late ass night when I go visit them, and that obviously was the night. Anyways, so wants me to go back with him, and I was really hesitant. I end up saying no. I get in the Uber with Deja and Serena, and they're like, how did everything go? Like, blah, blah, blah. You were talking to him the whole night. It seemed like you really hit it off. I was like, yeah, he's really cool. And I said, he asked me to go back to his place. And I told him no, and they both were like, what? They were like, Hailey, are you kidding? Like, blah, blah, blah. And we were driving back to Manhattan at this point. And I was like, guys, like, I'm so tired, like, all this stuff. I'm like, I really don't want to go back there. And I was like, also, like, I don't want to sleep with him. But I forgot to mention, he did tell me originally when I met him outside and he was like, go back with me. He was like, we don't even have to sleep together. He was like, I genuinely just want to get to know you more. So
That's cute. I'd be
yeah,
like, oh, okay.
That was nice. Like he didn't have to say that, but
Yeah.
of course, like he's probably thinking the reason I didn't
Yeah.
go back with him or whatever. Like that would have been the first thing probably to my mind as well. So when I told them that part as well, they were like, Hailey, that's like actually really nice. Like you should go back, like do it for the plot. Like
Oh my God.
all
Yeah,
this
literally.
stuff. They're like, I bet you if you text him right now, like he'll call you an Uber, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, guys, like I really did not want to, and not even just whatever. I ended up going back. He called me an Uber and everything. I spent the night. We just like cuddled and like made out, whatever. And we didn't do anything. But overall, I knew this man for probably about 6 hours.
Yeah, well, you were
But
still
was
like
the
talking there, right?
Yeah, was the conversation good? Like you guys
Yeah.
clicked and all that
Yes,
stuff.
like
Okay.
we clicked. I thought he was funny. But again, like it's also when you're in a going out setting, you guys know, like it's very different, right?
Yes.
Like, I had been drinking, not that I was like drunk, but right, like
You were just like
whatever.
feeling,
You were,
Yeah.
you were feeling yourself and yeah.
and
Feeling
that was
him.
that. Like it's very different meeting someone in a situation like that versus like I feel like in like a rom-com you like bump into them in a store.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a coffee shop or
Yeah.
something.
Like it was just whatever. I didn't know what
Yeah,
to
yeah.
think of it. And throughout the night too, when I was there, like he was making jokes like, when are you gonna come back and like see me? Like, are you gonna come back and visit me? And I thought
Yeah.
it was just like kind of like whatever.
you paying for me?
No, literally.
You fly me out?
Yeah. And just like making kind of like jokes like that. And I was like, oh, does this guy really want me to come back after like only knowing me for so long?
Yeah.
So I leave, I get home, and I just text him. I was like, thanks for everything. Like, kind of like good luck with everything, but also like if I'm ever in New York, like I'll let you know. I was like, hopefully you slept well after I left, because I left at literally 6 a.m. And he like wanted whatever to take me to breakfast and stuff. I'm like, no, I have to go.
Gotta go by.
Yeah.
Gotta go by. So I texted him that, and then he texted me back like a day later, which whatever is fine, but he was like, I told you, like I haven't slept since you left, like blah blah blah.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, I was like, oh okay. So I don't know, I just was like, okay, that's like kind of cute, because I was like, I hope you like whatever.
You made an impression.
I-
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the vibe.
But so then pretty much from there on out, we texted every day since. I don't know what exact day I left New York, but it was probably like June like June 6th, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went out there last weekend. So that was what, June 11th? So, or July 11th, I mean, excuse me. So probably a month, maybe a little bit longer of straight talking.
Like nonstop.
Nonstop.
Or like every day.
Every day we had a conversation.
Okay.
Was it like, was it more like just simple banter, like, hey, what's up? How are you? Or what, did you get into like the deep,
Deeper
like,
stuff.
what is your family like? Blah, blah, blah.
I would say both. Like a lot of the
Okay.
time it kind of went like back and forth, but it wasn't like a forced conversation, which
Yeah.
sometimes
Okay.
that can be, especially
Yeah.
when you're getting to know someone.
Mm-hmm.
It always just turned into like kind of a, it started as like a, hey, how are you? How's your day going? But then it usually always turned into something like, you know,
Tell me about
Deeper.
blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
yeah, like family or like,
Yeah.
and when I say
Okay.
deeper, I just mean like, you know, stuff about everyday life, right? Like
Right,
I knew
right.
we had a skincare
Just getting
brand,
to knowing.
all
to
of
know
this
each other.
stuff. So that was that. And again, like I didn't think I would see this man again. And I was kind of thinking like, okay, what am I doing? So probably like 2 weeks into us texting, like he was like, I, you know, meant what I said. I want you to come back out to New York. He was like, I'll pay for your flights, like all this stuff. And I was like hardcore debating it for probably 2 weeks. And then he kept like asking and saying like, I really want you to come out, like all this stuff. Like, you know, he was like, I know you really like pasta, because that was something that whatever I had told him. And he was like, these are all the best pasta places in New York. Which one do you want to
cute.
go to? Like all this stuff, like really making an effort.
He's starting
which-
strong.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
which
I'm
I
into it so
which
far.
I have not had really like
Right.
do for me yet.
Yes. And that's like one of, I feel like your biggest things. You always say like you want a guy to like take the initiative,
Yeah.
like
Right.
be up
This
front,
seemed-
like, yeah,
Which
kind
he
of
was-
like be obsessed with you in that case. But
Yeah, like they have to be obsessed with me. Like that's just
That's
simply
Hailey's
it.
motto. That's Hailey's goal. It
But
is
also,
what it is.
why would I want anything else?
Exactly.
exactly.
You guys
Why
want
would you
anything
want
less?
anything
Like,
Right.
less?
So yeah, this is why I was so excited when you told me he's flying you out. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, a man.
Man's might have turned out to be a little too obsessed.
Okay,
You
I'm-
seen that
okay,
movie
okay.
with Beyonce?
So
No, I haven't. But I know what you're talking about.
I know
Oh
what you're
God,
talking
I'm
about.
scared.
No, it's
So
he
leaving,
kidnapped her.
Yeah, literally. So I end up buying a flight out there because I realized like once I knew I was going to go out there, I did not want him to pay for anything because I didn't want to feel like I owed him anything.
Which is very, very smart in a sense. I get like,
Oh, so you bought
every-
your own ticket?
I did.
Oh,
But very like, I don't want to say like last minute, but he was going to like pay me for everything. Or he was like, give me your information and I'll book the flight for you, all of this. And I was very close to doing that. And then I was like, I don't know that I should. And the main like light switch for me, I think, was, you know, Caitlin Schrock, my friend from school.
yeah.
She was the one that I was actually telling this about when I saw her in person. And she was like, Hailey, like, she's very like blunt, but she's like, do not let this man pay for your stuff. She was like, I'm telling you now because then you're going to feel like you owe him something. Like,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, that's actually a really good point. Because even my mom was like, if he wants to pay for your stuff, like, let him.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
what we
that
all
was-
said when you
yeah,
told
we
us,
all
like,
said too,
before.
but I
I
guess-
know.
Yeah, I
But-
guess unless you're in that situation, like maybe she has previous experiences with that or something.
Yeah, but I mean, when
But-
you
Right.
explained it like that, like,
Yeah,
no, I
that
don't
makes
want to owe
sense.
this man anything, and now just like, yeah, I think
How the
that was
story's
like,
gonna pan out.
I really think that just was like a really smart move, and
Yeah.
even maybe your gut telling you like,
Don't.
maybe I should just like,
Yeah.
And the fact that you got like
Do
your,
it.
I don't know if you're going to go into this, probably you will, but getting your own hotel room too, just in case, to not have to
Yeah.
rely on having to like be
Yeah.
in his place. That's very smart too.
especially because you never know,
You know-
like
you don't know the person.
only
You
met
really-
him,
yeah,
yeah,
right,
texting
right.
back and forth, but you
Exactly.
don't know.
So you were
and
very
that
smart
leads
with
me
that.
into like the next thing, right? So I bought he knew I was coming out there, and he was like, I think kind of shocked at first because he was like, oh my God, like I'm surprised you actually bought a flight, like blah blah blah. I'm like, well, yeah, you want me to come out, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was interested enough on as well on my end to do that.
Yeah, to
So
see where it went.
I was willing to do that, spend my own time, spend my own money, whatever. So probably about like, and this was early July. No, like late June, early July, whatever. So like 2-3 weeks before I was supposed to go. And about a week before, my mom got me like a hotel. And he lives in Brooklyn and the hotel was in Manhattan, which is like a fucking hike. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
hike.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know New
Like
York.
traffic time, it would take as long. It's 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like, Yeah, it's not close, right? But like my mom, she didn't have another hotel in the Brooklyn area. And
Yeah.
like, obviously, if she would have, I would have stayed there, right? But that was the closest in theory for me to stay.
Background: Hailey's mom works for the hotel that she.
Yes,
Yeah.
she works for like a hotel company. So you know, when I told him I was getting a hotel, he was like, oh, why? And this was like a week up until about like a week before. Yeah, like why are you getting
Maybe I only met you for 5 hours one night.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the first kind of thing that really started to give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Because the way that he, and again, I know we were texting, it's not like face to face. He was like, why? But like, he just had a weird reaction. It seemed like to me saying I'm getting a hotel. And I told him, I was like, well, first of all, my mom does not know you and she will not let me just fly out to see you and like fully stay at your place. And I also was joking with him. I'm like, I can't stay over at boy's house. Like kind of trying to like diffuse the situation, right? Because I felt awkward.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to be like, I'm not staying with you because I don't know you that well. But
Yeah.
like,
But
That's what it is.
very.
what it was. And
Yeah.
what if I got there and like, I don't know what the worst case scenario would
exactly.
be, but I was stuck there, right? Like I had nowhere to fucking stay. Like,
Right, exactly.
I just didn't want that to happen. And you guys know me too. Like, I think we're all like this, but I need my own space.
Yeah.
Like, I also have not been in a serious relationship, like, literally since high school. And even then, like, I'm not trying to disclaim and say it wasn't serious, but, like, it was in high school.
Yeah.
That was literally almost, like, 10 years ago, a very long time ago.
Right.
Anyway, acted weird when I got my, yeah, I know. Acted weird when I told him I was getting a hotel, and that really gave me anxiety the week leading up to leaving. And I just like told my mom, I'm like, I'm kind of having anxiety, like, you know, like just about the whole scenario. And she's like, why did something happen? And you know, I was like, no, like, you know, not really, but I'm just like, what if I go out there and like, you know, like we don't hit it off, like blah,
Yeah,
blah,
you
blah.
never know.
And my mom was like, you know, like that's true, but she was like, you're not going out there to like marry this man, like just see how it goes,
Right.
like, you know, like you're out there to have fun. And I was like, okay, you're right. Like, so that at the beginning started us off, I think, on a bad note.
Yeah.
And that was also partially, I think, my fault because I went into it having that in the back of my mind, and I was like, fuck, like I'm kind of nervous now, whereas I wasn't before, like talking to him. And literally the day before too, we were talking about it, and he asked me again, like, oh, like, do you still have the hotel? Like thinking I
yes,
wasn't going to have it.
I still do have the hotel, thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, I do. Like, and he was like, oh, haha, like just being weird. Okay. Like nothing specific where he would be like, oh, what the fuck, but just very off-putting. Like, it just made me feel
why does
like,
it matter?
Why does it matter?
Also, he doesn't know you. Like, what if you're some like crazy dirty bitch? I don't know. Like, why? Like, you he doesn't know you either.
It's like the reaction could be like, oh, like that's so great you have a hotel. Like, I just want to let you know, like, you're more than welcome to stay with me, but I totally get why you would want one.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, leave the door open for you to maybe feel comfortable. But after that, after he keeps like bombarding you, it's like, all right, do I even want to meet you at this point? Like, why do you want me so bad to stay? Like
that would only lead me to you want to have sex with me.
Yeah.
Like, that's
where
my mind
it.
would go.
Yeah. So like,
which I get, like that's what some people want to do, and that's fine.
That's
but like,
fine, but
that's obviously not where Hailey's head was at with this whole situation.
But even then, if that was where my head was at, like I still would feel the same way, because it's like, I don't know, like I want to get to know you, and what if I get there, and even if we did have sex, like I probably don't want to spend the night there, because like,
and it's just, you are entitled to your own space.
Yeah.
Well, and I spent my own time and money. We'll get into this in a minute, okay? Because this is only the epilogue, people.
Okay. There's a lot more to this story.
Long story short, the way he was going about it right before I was going to get there, it was all smooth sailing until I brought up that I was getting a hotel. Let's just say that, right?
Okay.
And then I felt weird. So I fly in Friday night. He picks me up in his Bronco. Mind you, too, like, side note, this guy is, like, rich.
He's loaded.
He got money.
He's wealthy. Let's just say that. He, like, has a condo in Brooklyn. Looked it up. It literally was, like, $1 million. I was like, that's very casual. He drives a Ford Bronco, literally has lived in San Diego. And when I asked him what he was doing out there, he was like, nothing really, just, like, surfing. And this is a 31-year-old man, too, by the way. So, like, it's giving trust
funding that.
Correct. Not you.
Yeah.
And he has his own skincare company, so that's a little bit of background, right? Like, how are you funding your own company? You don't have a job. I did find out that he used to work in finance. He told me he used to be like a finance bro.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Makes
that was
sense.
another not red flag, but like I was like, what did you do before you know, and I used to work in finance. I'm looking for a man in finance.
Yeah, literally. When people wait, this is such a side note, but I was at 4th of July with Dylan, Dylan's friends and like friends of the friends. And I was asking them, like, what do they all do? Oh, I'm an advisor. I'm in finance. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean that you're an advisor? I advise people on like what they should do for their I need A, B, C, D. I obviously am not have a degree in that for a fucking reason. I need you to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Either way, she did.
I need a play-by-play. What exactly do you do in a day? You walk through
the doors, and what do you do?
Yeah. And I will say, like, I don't know, this is kind of mean, but I will say, like, it felt to me, especially towards the end of the trip, like he was one of those people that was like, you know, like those like major like goal-getter like pages on TikTok.
Oh my god!
A day is not 24 hours. You can make it 48 if you get. I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm in the gym. Like,
Andrew Tate.
That's
is
what
that
he
the
was
energy?
Giving me.
Oh, ew, Hailey.
I know.
That's
not
really
so
bad.
much, but like, because when I asked him why he left, he was like, corporate life was just like not for me. Like, you know, it was really wearing me out. You can make it 48. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the energy it was giving.
Actually the perfect.
Which is fine.
Women are a distraction.
That's to me what it was giving. And I was like, man. Like,
oh, man.
I'm so glad you have money to, you know, like have your own skincare company and like do all of this and basically live and do nothing as a 31-year-old man. But
that's
like,
amazing.
I'm a little
love
worried.
that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just like don't think he understood too. Like, I'm like, I have to work Monday. Like, well,
what is that?
What is that?
Yeah. Like, well, why? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
why?
I'm not. Okay.
Because I need to make money.
Just got so off track. I'm sorry. So I get there Friday. I told you guys this background. Comes and picks me up at the Bronco, and we get in the car. And
what time is it?
It's like it had to have been 10:30, 11
at night,
like late
at night.
Again, I know it's New York, but like when you travel, you're tired, etc.
Right.
Right. Okay. He knew I was getting a hotel. I see that he puts the address back in to his place in Brooklyn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. For the viewers that are not watching this live, my eyes are wide.
No, literally.
Jeez.
So
where's the brain cells? I'm confused.
The brain, it wasn't
What
there.
did you say?
Turn the switch on, I guess. So he puts the address into his place in Brooklyn, and probably like and I wasn't going to say anything. I really grappled with it, but I was like, okay, this cannot start off this way. Like, if, you know, like I'm tired, I want to take a shower, whatever. So I said to him, I was like, can you drop me at the hotel? Or I was like, oh, are we going to your place? Or can you drop me at the hotel first so I can drop off my stuff and like do all that? And he was like, oh yeah, like I guess. Like, he's like, what's the address to the hotel? And like I tell him and whatever. So he puts that in, takes me to the hotel, and literally we like park, and he was like, so do you want to drop your stuff off? And then like, you know, like we can go back to my place or whatever. And I was like, well, I was probably going to go up. Well, I was like, I think I'm going to go like upstairs. I'm like, I'm really tired. I want to take a shower, you know, like all this stuff. And I was like, but like, if you want, like, you know, if you want to come up with me for a little bit, you're more than welcome. Like, otherwise, like, I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'll come see you. We'll hang out the whole day, right? Like that kind of thing. And he still was kind of just like, it was still too early on for him to really like say anything, but he was kind of like, okay, like, you know, like, are you sure you don't want to come back to my like house? Like blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll wait for you to take a shower, like all this stuff. And I'm like no, really,
sir,
like, it's
I'm
okay.
Sure.
Like, I promise, but if you want to come out for a little bit, you can. So
does he come up?
He does.
Okay.
But we literally just like talked, like we were just like sitting on the bed and talking, and I literally said to him, I was like, you should go home because yes. But also like, he has a dog too. And like, it's a bigger dog the size of Ozzy. So I was like, you should go home. Like Marley's like probably is hungry and like will want to sleep with you and like is wondering where you are. So I was like, damn, that's like kind of a good cop out. But also I was like, you should leave.
Yeah.
And he said he was like hungry and all that. So I was like, okay, like, you should go home, like eat something.
Put some food in your
I'm not hungry. You can go do that.
Yeah.
Because
he asked me before I got on the plane if I was going to be hungry when I got there. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm eating right now. Like, you know, and the plane ride's only an hour and a half there. So I'm like, probably not, right?
Yeah.
But I also told him, I'm like, I ate so much candy on the plane. Okay? So, yeah. That was Friday. Okay, so that already too, plus what I was feeling the anxiety about was like,
it just rubs you the wrong way.
It rubbed me the wrong way. And for me with guys, like when you get off on the wrong foot like that, or again, like if you give me like the ick, it's very, very hard. You can do it, but it's very, very, very hard for you to go back to like a blank slate.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just in general, first impressions are everything.
They're everything.
Yeah, and especially when you're acting like that.
Like, and this is a 31-year-old man, okay? So, like I said, it just
come on, read the room.
I don't know why he was fighting it, okay?
Right,
like,
it's just read the room.
That's just what it was, and I literally went into like a borderline frenzy like Friday night when this happened, even just being with him for an hour, because I was like, oh my God, like it just really ruined like my mindset. And I told my mom, I'm like, I think I'm going to get a flight home like on Sunday, like all this stuff. And I just started having really bad anxiety. My mom's like, Hailey, it's fine. Like, it's just the first night, like whatever. Tomorrow's a new day, whatever. Okay. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 was called Saturday. So Saturday, I get up. I wanted to get a coffee. I head over to his place, etc. So I get there most of the day. So we started off like walking around Brooklyn, and we were like doing some shops. And I have never really seen Brooklyn, especially like the cutesy, like nicer area where he lives. So we were doing that. We went to brunch. That was most of Saturday, right? Like we hung out, walked around, or the most of Saturday during the day. So after we did everything and we made a reservation for dinner, also mind you, like it was 95 degrees out. Okay. It's smelly. Like it was just like a thick, like fall. Like it was fucking hot. And I knew it was going to be hot. That's fine. Whatever. Right. But
wait. Can I ask, how was the conversation and stuff during that time?
They were fine. Right. Like we were we were texting, right? But like or not texting, but you know what I'm saying? Like they were fine. Like it wasn't, I tried to
You didn't get the ick at that point.
No. Said in the back of my mind still what went on the night before and how he like acted with the hotel, like just was whatever. Because all I'm thinking too is like, well, what's he gonna do tonight? Like, what's this situation gonna be like? I mean, that's just who I am, right? Like I'm a worrier, so I'm like, okay, what's tonight? Yesterday's gone, but like
what's happening in the future?
What's happening in the future? Yes. So that was that. It was like, so our dinner reservation was at 9. And mind you, again, I'm in Brooklyn. So I was like, okay, thinking to myself, what time do I have to get back there to the hotel to be able to do everything? It was probably like 5, because I'm thinking, okay, it'll take me probably 45 minutes to take the subway to get back, whatever. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to go back to the hotel and take a shower so I can get ready for dinner and have enough time. And, you know, he did say he was like tired because we were like literally sweating buckets all day. So I was like, why don't you take a nap, like whatever, and I'll see you for dinner. He was like, cool, sounds great.
Perfect. That's the attitude we needed last night.
Right. So I'm like, where was this last night?
Yeah.
Walks me to the subway, which that was another humbling experience, which I'll get into in a second. I ended up doing the subway home because it was just cheaper. Like an Uber too out there, like to and from each time was like $45 to $50.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna take the subway. Woo! And he was like, no, I think you should. Like it's cheaper or whatever. And it's like the same as a city. It just isn't as, to me, it didn't feel as like clear, but I was not from there, so whatever. Go home. I get ready. For whatever reason, I did not think it was going to take me that long to get back to Brooklyn, especially later that night. But like, it's Saturday night. Like, I don't know what I thought. So
did you take the subway or did you take the Uber?
I took an Uber to dinner. So 8:30, I'm down in the lobby of my hotel. I'm ready to go, etc. I call an Uber. It said it was like 10 minutes away. And then by the time it was like almost here, and then it canceled.
Oh my God.
So at that point, it was like 8:45.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So I'm like, oh God, fucking damn it. So I call another Uber, and by the time the Uber picks me up, and of course, again, like it's Saturday night, New York City, like people are going to dinner, people are going out, like whatever. And it's hot too. So everyone's taking Ubers and whatever. By the time the Uber gets there, it's 9 p.m. I was supposed to be in Brooklyn at dinner at 9 p.m. Okay?
Oh, gosh.
And the place that we are going for dinner, like, it's apparently very hard to get a reservation at.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it was like, it was just...
So what time did you arrive? 9:30?
9:45.
Oh, wow.
And our seat reservations were at the bar. Like, which, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I texted him. And I told him, I was like, I'm really sorry. I know it's 9, but I'm going to be 45 minutes late. Like, I'm not really sure what to do. Like, do we need to eat somewhere else? Like, how late is this place open? Like, sending him like 10 texts in a row because I genuinely felt like horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm not from here. Like, I'm sorry.
I
didn't think it would take me that long.
Yeah.
And the Uber driver was like, I'm going to get you there as fast as I can, whatever. And he was like, well, you know, like, I'm here right now. Like, they said the kitchen closes in like 10 minutes. And this was at 9:15. So I was like, can you order for me? Like, I'll tell you what I want. And he was like, well, I'm not going to sit at the bar and like eat by myself because the food probably would have been out before I got there, which is fair, right? But that was kind of my reaction. I'm like,
okay, but like,
I'm already stressed. I'm already stressed. I'm trying to get there. So then I said, I'm like, okay, like, I said, we can go somewhere else. Like, I know it's not going to be here. Like, I'm really sorry. And he was like, well, I don't care. Like, this was for you, you know? And I'm like,
I hate that. Okay.
Just again, like,
yeah.
I feel like people always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
That was the case, but also like in person as well as text, it was like, no, in this case, it was both. It's what you're saying and it's also how you're saying it.
Yeah.
So it's like for the text part of that, I was like, okay, like I felt really bad, whatever. So I ended up getting there at 9:45. And 5 minutes away, I said, I was like, should I still have him drop me off here? Are we still eating here? He's like, yeah, they said they're going to keep like the kitchen open and all this stuff. So
what?
Wait a second. We both work in the restaurant industry. Once kitchens close, they're fucking
So listen,
closed.
so I get there.
What the fuck?
I get there, you guys. I don't know if he was just saying this just to be like a fucking
a
turd.
petty ass motherfucker.
So I get there. The restaurant's still packed. I looked and this place supposedly closes at 10, which I don't know how New York places are, but like Hooters does not look like that. When we close at 11 at 10:45, 10:50, like unless it was like a fucking, I don't even know, like a festival next door and it just ended, like it does not look like that, right? Restaurant was packed. I sit down at the bar is still full. And he was like, yeah, so the guy at the door like told me different. He told me that the kitchen was going to close in 10 minutes. And like I asked the bartender and he said it's still open for literally another 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, like great, you know, because then I still felt bad, but I felt less bad. And again, like I was like thinking to myself, okay, well, you didn't really have to make this much of a big deal about it. And
yeah.
Pretty much the whole night, I like would not stop apologizing. Like I was like, I really am sorry. Like, you know, all this stuff. Like, because I did feel bad, right? Like, whatever.
Which is understandable on your part, but like you truly
here.
didn't know. Like, it's not like you were thinking in your head, oh, I'm going to be 45 minutes late to this date.
It's
to
not
whatever.
like at 9 p.m. I rolled downstairs and was like, okay, so like,
and it's also not like you weren't. You didn't feel bad. Like you felt bad the whole way there,
yeah.
Felt bad.
And he just kind of like
made you feel worse.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, like when I, you know, like got there and we got like our drinks and food and everything, like he was definitely like better. Like also like he's a very touchy person, which is fine. I'm a very touchy person, but also with like people I am comfortable with and I trust.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was not there with him yet, right? So I was like, okay, like I didn't really reciprocate it, like whatever. So that was dinner. After dinner, I was like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to go out for cocktails? Because he mentioned something about that earlier in the day. And I was like, or do you want to just like go back? Like, I know we've had a long day. Because at this point, it was already 11:30 by the time we finished dinner. Also very New York, like that they fucking eat dinner that late. Like,
right.
9 p.m. reservation. I'm sorry, what?
My family literally eats at 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah. That's John Valera has already been in bed for 2 hours.
Yeah,
literally.
So at 11, no, more like 5 hours.
No, literally. So he was like, let's just go back. He was like, you said you wanted to watch Love Island because I was behind on Love Island.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like, if you want, we can go back and watch that. I'm like, cool. So we go back, watch Love Island. And mind you, so again, when I went back before dinner, I took a shower. But my hair was like so dirty and I did not have time to wash it from sweating. So for dinner, I did like a slick back bun. I did a full face of makeup and I had like whatever, my dinner outfit on. And then I had like my little purse. So it's not like I had like my stuff with me, right?
Yeah.
Watched Love Island. And the next day on Sunday, our plan was to go to the beach in New Jersey, which is like a 3-hour drive. Like it's a hike for a day trip, but like we were going to make it work. And he said he wanted to leave at like 7:30 or 8, which is fine. But I'm thinking to myself, fuck, it's already 12:30 by the time we like finished everything. And it was almost 1. So I said to him, I'm like, I'm probably going to head back so I can get my stuff together for tomorrow. And like, and I also thought I was very reasonable about it, bringing it up because I'm like, it's not like I was like, I have to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was like, I want to, let me get back so I can get my stuff
together. Well, especially because you didn't have anything to go to the beach tomorrow.
Be rested, etc. And we were like laying on the couch. He was like laying next to me and he like sits up. He's like, you're seriously going home? And he was like, you're seriously going home right now, like laughing, like kind of like laughing, like smiling, like jokingly, but not. Did you hear this, Anne Marie? I don't think you did. You really only heard like the car part of it, which we'll get to coming up in chapter 3. He was like, you're seriously going home? And I was like, blank. Yes. Guys, hold on. I have a slick back bun. Like, I have a full face of makeup on. I have nothing with me. He was like, I have stuff here that you can wash your face with. Like,
he has a skincare line. He gonna give you that men's skincare.
But like, probably you're a man. What are you using? What are you using for your shampoo? What are you using? Are you using a 2-in-1? Do you use like a bar of soap? Like, I'm a woman. I have certain things I need for my hair. Yeah. I need my comb. I need my micellar water. Like, so even just that, like, he was like, everything I was saying that I needed to do, like, he was like, I have stuff you can wash your face with, you can take a shower here, like, I have clothes you can wear tonight
dude,
to bed.
fuck, drop it. Like,
no, literally. And I said, I'm like, okay. He was like, tomorrow I will, he's like, we'll stop by the hotel, you can get your swimsuit, and if you want to take a shower or again or whatever, you can, and then we'll go to the beach. He was like, oh, we can swing by there tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, like I really don't want to. Like, that's what I was saying, because I think he thought it was like kind of like a joke, kind of like I really was whatever.
Like, no, I actually want to leave, so like just let me fucking leave.
That's what I wanted to say so bad. So then he literally he just would not stop, right? Like, you're seriously leaving, like, you're not leaving tonight, like all this stuff. So,
I smell gaslight.
Yeah. I smell a gaslighter. He brings me a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt to wear. I literally grab them from his hands, put it on, go in his room, put my hood up, and start watching TikTok. Put the cover like up to like my neck, and then probably like 20 minutes, he doesn't say anything to me, and then probably like 20 minutes later, he actually comes in the room and like lays next to me and like tries to act like nothing happened. And I'm like, because I just did that because I was so over it, and also at that point I was like, fuck this, like, I'm literally just gonna stay here, and like, I don't even care. But like, he knew I was mad, unless he was that much of an idiot, which maybe he was. But when he got into bed with me, he was like, so like acted like nothing happened, basically. Holy and shit. I literally was like, just giving him like short answers. Yeah, right? Like, I was like yes, what no, maybe, like, Jesus, oh, that's cool, Christ. Or like not reciprocal. Like, clearly I'm fucking mad, right? Like, I'm annoyed. I just wanted to go home. I still have all my makeup on, all my stuff, like whatever. And he is just like trying to cuddle and like all this stuff, and is still asking me questions. No. And I'm like, oh my God. Rough. I'm like, this is gonna be fucking hell. So then we're like cuddling, and it's like quiet, and I don't know where he goes, want to have sex? And I was like, this is literally what I said. I said, I don't think so. That's like literally what I said. And he was like, okay, like, that's fine, like, you know. And
ew, Hailey, ew, I'm getting so uncomfortable.
Julie, it gets worse.
I'm getting
but it gets
so
worse.
Uncomfortable.
So that was that, and I was like, not really. And then, okay, so whatever. We end up falling asleep. Well, I don't.
The way does. I would not have shut my eyes. I
literally like bored. Covers up to here, like
yeah.
Oh, no, like that's basically what it was. Okay, so
what the fuck?
After that, he fell asleep like very shortly after. The cherry on top of this night, guys, I probably slept 2 hours. You want to know why? The man took up the whole bed, and he snores so goddamn loud, you would think he's an 85-year-old man.
Oh my God.
I was like,
you should have just snuck out. No, I would have just snuck out and left.
I thought about it. And actually, too, in the middle of the night, because his dog actually didn't sleep in the bed with us, which I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, literally, I tried to leave like the bedroom because he had his door shut, and go the rest of the night on the couch. And then literally, like, when I was getting up to like go out, he was like getting up as one. He's like, I have to go pee, like,
oh my
whatever.
God.
And I'm like, God damn it, like, get back in fucking bed.
Yeah.
So takes
gosh.
up the whole fucking bed all night, snores so goddamn loud. Also, like, this man does not have a headboard. Like, you'd think he's like a 22-year-old frat boy. I have a whole pros and cons list too I can share with you, but like, he smokes spliffs. Do you guys know what a spliff is?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Well, I told you and Lauren. It's like, so it's like how you would roll like a blunt, mm-hmm. but it's weed and it's also nicotine.
This is disgusting.
So you take a cigarette and sprinkle it in there and whatever. And so he's addicted. He probably smokes 15 to 20 of those a day. Maybe that's even generous. Mm-hmm. Could be double that for all I know. So that's probably why he snores so goddamn loud.
Yeah.
Like, the man's going to need a CPAP machine in 2 years. I'm telling you, guys, I'm sorry, that was really mean, but I've never heard anyone snore that loud at that age. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And that's because
snoring
you
is my
smoke
biggest
spliffs.
pet peeve.
I know. And, like, literally all I'm thinking to myself is, like,
God.
oh, my God, like, I could be home in my king hotel bed.
Yeah.
And my nice sheets, like.
Dead silent.
It was fucking hell. So I finally did fall asleep, but it was like basically when the birds were chirping. I think I fell asleep for 3 hours. I wake up and he wasn't next to me. So
hell no.
Chapter 3 into Sunday. This
Sunday's a real banger.
A fucking day.
Okay.
And this is where it starts to like end, I guess. So Sunday, I wake up, he's not next to me. I think he said he went to like the farmer's market, and then when he came home, he like brought me like an iced coffee, and I was like, oh, thanks. Like, he was like, how did you sleep? And I literally wanted to be like, literally horrible. Yeah. Like, I almost put a sock in your mouth. Like, you actually want to know? Like, that's how.
But okay, like,
I wanted to just tell him off and be like, that's why I didn't want to sleep here. Even if we had sex or not, if I knew that's how you snored, I would have had sex with you and then left. Like, if that's what I would have known. Like,
right.
Why did he leave you in his house by yourself? Like, why did he like go to the farmer's market?
That happens a lot in movies, though. That's
yeah,
a very,
like in a movie.
Moment.
Like, why do people do that in real life? Like, do people do that?
I would not trust anybody.
I would not leave anybody in my fucking house,
especially with my dogs.
House, unless it's you guys.
Cats.
Yeah,
hell no.
But even then, too, it's just like. He just like could not read the fucking room.
Yeah,
like
obviously. He really thought you guys were in a long-term relationship.
No, literally, like he thought we have already been dating for like 3 years. Like, no, sir, this is the second full day that I've known you. So like, relax. Wake up Sunday. Once he got his shit together, got in the car. We drove to the hotel. Got my swimsuit. Put all that on, get in the car, start the trek to New Jersey for the beach. We didn't end up leaving until like probably 10, so like later. Mm-hmm. By the time we got there, it was probably 1, I want to say, and I lost my train of thought. We got there around 1, and it was really pretty out there. Like, the houses were so beautiful, and it was like just nice to be by the water and like get out of the city and whatever. On the way there, though, like he's still doing like the questions like he was the night before, like in bed. Like, I think he could still tell I was mad, so he was trying to be like, oh, like giving me like facts about New Jersey and like whatever, like this is where Bon Jovi lives, right behind those trees, like
okay,
all this stuff. And I was like,
oh, spitting out random ass facts,
right? Yeah. Like I was like, oh, like cool, you know. But I was being very like, to me, I was being obvious. Like I was like,
clap
okay.
if you care.
No, literally, like clap if you care. But I was trying to give it to him in a way of like, I'm still upset with you kind of thing.
Yeah, if he would have just like
maybe you're annoying me.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was trying to give.
Yeah.
And
I don't sorry or something. Yeah.
I don't know that he was getting that.
Yeah.
Get to the beach, sitting on the beach, and he was watching a soccer game on his phone, and I don't know where he goes, want to have sex tonight.
Hailey, no.
I'm literally wheezing.
No, literally wheezing.
This fucking man.
No.
You don't.
You're wheezing.
He's literally looking at his phone.
Weird.
Is soccer turning him on that fucking much? He's like, do you want to have sex tonight?
Like casual. It's like a
you
casual.
Don't ask. It was like a casual ask, and like we had been chatting like somewhat. It's not like it was
weird.
like completely silent. Like we were talking about whatever stuff, but like not that would bring that up, right? Like it was like. Oh, about the soccer game, or oh, about the water, like there's a lot of people here, or oh, look at those girls, like that kind of thing, right? And then it was just like silent for a couple seconds, and he's like, want to have sex tonight? And like looks at me, and I was like, yeah,
better not.
I don't know, like probably not. Like we'll see. Like I'm kind of like looking out in the water, like I'm not making eye contact with him. Like yeah, like I don't know.
What a
like,
weird fucking man. What a weirdo.
Shit.
Yeah. So that was that. Okay. And then, I don't think I ever told you or Lauren this, or did I? After the beach, we stopped at his friend's house.
No, I did not hear this.
Oh, wait, that's when you texted me about the property, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we stopped at his friend's house his friend's house in New Jersey, who has a beach house, because they wanted to watch the end of the soccer game. Mm-hmm. And mind you, he brought this up to me on Saturday, so the day before, like saying like, oh, if you want, he's having like a little get together, like, we can go. And I was like, that's fine, but like, am I going to be the only girl there? Like it sounded like a boys' day, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be like the only girl there. And he's like, hi guys, like whatever. And he was like, don't worry, like we don't have to go, like I think you will be the only girl there. And I was like, okay, fine. So then obviously he had to change of thought because he was like, do you mind if we stop by my friend's house? Like he has a pool, like if you want to swim you can, like all this stuff. Like I want to
funny that you already said no and he's just like bringing it up to you in the moment because why are you gonna say no at that time?
He kind of didn't really give me an option, but like on the way there I was like, how many people are here, like what is the vibe? He was like, well, it's really only like my 2 guy friends. And
I'd be so scared.
He was like, it's only like my 2 guy friends, like it'll just be the last like 30 minutes of this game. And I was like, okay, fine, like whatever. So we pull up to this beach house. It's like something out of Big Little Lies. I'm not kidding you.
God.
And that's why I asked you, because I wanted to look up the price, and I did actually find a house that was next door to it, so I'm assuming it was probably about the same price. $10 million. Okay, so we get there, we walk in, it's like beautiful open concept. They had 2 dishwashers. I've never seen that in my
what the heck?
So his 2 friends
you
were there,
rich if you have 2 dishwashers.
Right. Yeah,
nobody needs that.
Okay, his friend that we were seeing, whose house it was, his mom and dad and brother and sister were all there, and I was like,
what?
And he says to me, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know they were going to be here.
Honestly, no, that would actually feel
well,
a lot
yeah,
better.
like that there's other people there, but like
a lot better.
It did.
Why are we going in the first place?
Right. But yeah, exactly. Why are we going in
He's
the first
like
place?
literally acting like you're his girlfriend and you guys have been together for like X amount of time.
And like you just, I guess guys are just oblivious, because as a female, if you told me it's just
oblivious.
you and like, no, who's there? Just my 2 guy friends. I would feel scared. I would feel scared.
Yeah, if I just met you, absolutely
like,
not.
Yeah.
You're not thinking. He's obviously not thinking from your point of view. Like that's why immediately, if I would have saw the family, I would have, in your position, felt a lot less scared. But like, it's scary,
because
dude.
when we got there, no, totally. And again, like I will say, and I feel like this even goes back to this Carmel thing when the guy was in our hotel room. I thought nothing of it. I was
literally you both felt nothing of it. I'm like, okay,
but I was just annoyed, right? But his dad was there when we got there and was actually in the kitchen, and everyone else was outside, and he was like, oh, like how are you guys, like my name's whatever, like Dave, and you know, like they're out in the back, do you guys want any food, blah blah blah. And this looks like the like, you know, like a very wealthy, rich white guy, which I found out that he is. He works for Aon, and I guess he makes 7 figures a year. Right. I had to look up how much that was. Because I'm like, I don't know how much money that is. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, the dad didn't tell me that, but the guy I was with told me that on the way back. So we were there watching the soccer game, and his 2 friends were the fucking nicest people I've ever met in my life. Like, I know it's hard to know that, like, just from talking to them a little bit, but they were like so sweet. Like they were asking me like questions, like where are you from? Like one of the guys went to Northwestern.
Okay.
To do like his like graduate school, and he's like, I love Chicago, all this stuff. Anyway, beautiful ass house right on the beach. Like this is they had a whole outdoor area with a TV and outdoor kitchen. All of this, Amory, at your place was the ocean.
Oh wow!
Oh my
And then
gosh!
the boardwalk. Like I was like, this is absolutely insane. And I even asked the guy I was with on the way back. I said, "Is that their full-time house?" He goes, "No, they live 30 minutes up the road."
Okay.
I said,
casual,
"Oh, that's
casual."
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, like this is a really, and the reason I'm saying this, the reason I told you that part of the story as well is because I think it'll make a little more sense for what I say towards the end. Of wrapping this up, which I promise I'm getting too soon. We get back in the car, and on the way home, he goes, so am I dropping you off at your place? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm assuming you're not going to spend the night. And I was like,
you're correct.
Yeah, absolutely
that's
not.
what I should have said. I said, probably not. Like, I'm super tired and I have to pack for tomorrow because I was leaving and I have to work. And I had like a bunch of work calls, which never fucking happens to me, of course, unless I'm like trying to do something or like whatever.
I think it was
meant to
for
be
the best.
It was for the better. No, literally. I think they knew that something was going on. So I said that, and again, like the way he said it, like, oh, I'm assuming I'm dropping you off, was very like, I don't want to say like condescending, if that's the right word, but condescending. We'll go with that. And so, you know, when I said, I'm like, I'm tired, you're probably tired as well, you've been driving all day, I have to pack. He goes, is that your excuse tonight, since the other nights seemed like total bullshit of wanting your own space? I still think that's so weird and doesn't really make any sense to me, especially if you're in a relationship. I interrupted and I said, are we in a relationship?
No, he's saying to you this in person?
This is to her in face to face.
Word vomit in the car after I said I was staying at my own place that night. And
oh my
sorry
God.
for reading off my phone. But
yeah.
no,
yeah.
Try to get the details.
Yeah.
Go.
So that's, and I was like, are we in a relationship? Because he was like, I still think it's so weird that you like want your own space. Because that was another thing I said a lot of the time, right? Like, I want my own space. Because you said it earlier. What if I said this to him too. I said, what if I'm the dirtiest bitch? I literally said, you want my shit everywhere, like my clothes everywhere? He's like, yeah, like I would love that. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no,
like,
you wouldn't.
You know, like you would not.
I think this man thinks that they were dating.
So I said, are we in a relationship?
That's the vibe.
And then he was like, whoa, like, no, like, you know, but that was like the point I was trying to make. And so he continued to gaslight the shit out of me for making me think it was like weird that I want my own space, and kept going on. And I said, why is it weird if I want my own space? I'm spending all day with you today and yesterday. What is the difference if I spend the night or not? That's what I said. Like, what's the difference?
Because it's a man that really just wanted you there, probably to have sex.
So then he kind of went off and was like, well, I wanted to have at least one romantic interaction with you. So I guess I did want to have sex, even though I wasn't expecting it and told you that we didn't have to.
Even though you asked twice in a very non-romantic way.
Absolutely
not. And again,
not.
it's like word vomit at this point for him. He's like, what if the sex is bad and we aren't compatible? And then he was like, sex is a big deal to me because one of my last girlfriends I had to end things with because we weren't on the same page sexually. She didn't like morning sex or giving blowjobs or having sex multiple times a day. And I personally needed more from that. And it hurt me so bad to let her go. Like,
it's giving sex addict. He needs to seek therapy.
So, like, literally.
Respectfully.
And mind you, like, him bringing up the part about his girlfriend, I did open that can of worms Saturday because I was just curious. I asked him, I was like, how many, like, serious relationships have you had? And this was one of them. This was, like, the most recent one, I guess. But, like, that was literally what he told me. So, like, just word vomit, right, about the whole, like, sex thing and saying, like, I did want to have romantic interaction, like, kind of trying to justify in a way and saying, like, it's a big deal, which, and this is it, like, the sex part is fair, okay, like, I get that, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I do
understand. You need to have, like,
but,
that
like,
intimate connection, but also, like, I probably would have had sex with you if you would have made me feel comfortable.
There are so many different ways.
Yeah. I'm not on that level with you yet. Like, there's so many different reasons why. Like, you thought you were getting laid after everything this weekend? Truly? And the cherry on top was you snore so loud and you take up the whole bed? You really thought you were getting laid?
Oh my
gosh. And it really did. Like,
that's actually mind-blowing.
And
to me.
I'm like rage texting Amory Warren at this time.
Literally
and I was like,
in the car.
And I was like, guys, like, I'm literally scared this man is gonna like turn off the road and like fucking like chop me into pieces or something. Like, I'm like scared. So after that, like, I literally said nothing. Like, after he went on that tangent of like, you know, like, I had this girlfriend, like, she didn't like morning sex and all this stuff.
Like, oh, boo-hoo.
Well, and the other thing is, it's like...
It's giving Tom Sandoval.
No, it's giving Tom Sandoval, but it's also like, I guarantee you when they were together, this man didn't even think about his girlfriend.
Yeah,
like,
just what he wanted.
What if she was like, I don't know, like, what if she had a bad experience with sex? Like, maybe she was sexually assaulted, or...
Yeah.
You never
or she
know.
Simply wasn't in the mood to have sex every
in the
single
mood.
Morning.
Exactly. And it's like
wow, there's a fucking
But he wouldn't know that because it's all about
Holy
him.
Shit. Right.
Like, so that's what I was very much giving. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So I didn't say anything. And it was silent, Julia, in the car for 45 minutes.
I would have jumped out.
Don't even
tucked
know
and
what I
rolled
would have done.
and jumped out of the car.
Dude. They're just,
I would have went off.
It's just a whole load of what the fuck is wrong with you.
Yep. So I really, the woman was too stunned to speak. That really was me because I had nothing to say at that point. I was like, I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, it was weird. So after he went on that tangent, like, and it was 45 minutes had passed, he had asked me about like a song or an artist and was like, oh, do you like XYZ? I was like, yeah, like, you know, they're okay. And then he goes, so you have no comment about what I said earlier.
What do
just
you
like
want
turning
me
it back,
comment?
like obvious, like what,
like
what?
What do you want?
So I literally was
men are trash.
No, and also like he just like again like the reading the room thing. Like, read the fucking room. I'm already mad at you. Like, you're just like
you're making me uncomfortable.
Yourself in the fucking foot multiple times again. Like, at this point, you can barely walk because you shot yourself so much in the foot. Like, it is to that point. So I literally said when he asked me, like, you have nothing to say about that, I said, listen, I hear you and that's fair. But for me, sex is a very intimate and special thing that I don't throw around to everyone. I'm not saying you do, but coming into this trip, I knew I wasn't going to have sex with you. And I think you felt differently, which that was all very true on my end, right? Like, I know I said if things went well, like, yeah, like maybe I would have slept with him.
Yeah,
Maybe
if it happened naturally, not from him.
Do you want to have sex?
Saying it constantly every day.
Exactly. And the way he was handling things and just everything that had accumulated, right? That had happened with him reacting about the hotel and like him like forcing me to sleep the night.
He just did not create a
like,
safe space for that.
You didn't create a safe space for me. And I'm like, you are just like, no, like you just already gave me such the biggest, like, so whatever. I was like, I came into this like, you know, like wanting just to get to know you more and spend time with you. I think you came into it thinking we were going to leave like boyfriend and girlfriend. And that just simply was, that's what I thought,
absolutely
right? That
not the case.
Right.
Wasn't
at
the
all.
case. But again, like I didn't make any promises to him or anything. Like this is just what it is. So basically the rest of the car ride, he tried to like, again, like kind of just change his subject and like make me not feel a certain way, whatever. So once we got to my hotel, he was like, am I going to see you tomorrow before you leave? And I said,
I would have said no.
I would have said,
I have to
no,
go.
sir.
A, B, C, D, E, F,
If you
G.
don't like
I
the
have
way
to go.
But literally, no, A, B, C, D, F, G. I have to go. So he was like, am I going to see you tomorrow? And I said, probably not. I have like calls all morning. And, you know, I want to see like Deja and Serena for Julia's face right now. She's really like this. I was like, I want to see Deja and Serena and whatever. And, you know, he was like, well, like, do you need a ride to the airport? I was like, I mean, if you want to drive me, you can. That's very nice of you. But I said, I'm not going out to Brooklyn. And he was like, okay, well, I was going to say, if you come out to Brooklyn, I'll drive you. And I'm like, I'm not trekking 45 fuck minutes out there for you to drive me to the airport, then to probably just continue to gaslight me and bring up our conversation yesterday. Like, not going to happen. Like,
No.
This is
see you later.
I would rather walk my ass to the airport than get a ride from you.
No, literally. Like, I'd rather take, like, the fucking subway. So, literally, guys, when I tell you, when he got in the car and left, it was literally like, you know that picture of Nicole Kidman after her divorce was, like, finalized with Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Like, that picture, and she's like this.
Yes.
Like, happy, like, that was literally me when he drove away. I'm like, dude.
Just the biggest weight lifted off your shoulders at that point.
Literally, I was like, oh, thank the Lord. I, like, went back, took a shower. I DoorDashed food. I literally, there was a nice
living
little
the
security
dream.
man. I was like, is there a good, like, ice cream place around here I can walk to? He was like, yeah, there's actually a gelato place down the street. Like, the line's always so long.
Oh, my
all this stuff. And I was
gosh.
like, oh, thank God. And my friend actually from DZ that I knew, she lived a block away, so she wanted me to tell her about the weekend, and her reactions were the same as yours. Like, she was like, Hailey, this is insane. Like,
it's just so terrible.
And I told Deja and all of this, and like, they're whatever, okay, right? So now,
unfortunately, it's not over.
It almost is though.
Yeah,
I promise. So I, of course, wanted to like text him, right, and just kind of.
His number is still not saved as a name.
That is the best part.
I love that.
No, it's not saved because you know
but
what?
she's just. I feel like I do this.
I have like a 5 or 6 month rule now. I never used to be like this. Like, if I ever got a guy's number, like even at like a club that I thought was like cute or something, like I would save it. And now, like, no, unless you're in my life for like 5 or 6 months as a guy, your number's not getting saved.
Yeah.
It's, like, you don't deserve a name.
And I wanted to tell him so bad. Like, I also don't have your number saved. So, like,
if you check
truly
me,
irrelevant.
like, who's this?
No,
that's
why. So, after he got home that night, again, I was trying to be nice. And I said, did you get home? He said, yeah, what are we eating for dinner? Even though I already told him, like, I was ordering DoorDash.
I would say you're literally...
You're insane.
I don't even know.
And I said pasta. And he said that I bought Friday night. Because that's the other thing. He did buy me handmade pasta and flowers, and I'm sorry I keep forgetting details and going backwards, but that was one of the reasons he told me that he wanted me to sleep over Friday, because he wanted to surprise me with the flowers he got me, which was very nice.
Right?
Honestly, like, that does not make... Yeah, like, why do you have to have them at home?
And I would have...
No.
I would have seen
He's so
Saturday.
slimy.
He's slimy. Thank you. It's so funny. Deja
ick.
used the same adjective, slimy.
Did
which
she?
I thought was so funny, yes. So he said that I bought Friday night, like the pasta I bought Friday. I said, haha, you should eat that. I ate already. He said, have fun watching Love Island with your pasta. I said, I sense sarcasm. He said, loser. I said, wolf. Thanks for taking me to the beach today and driving. Answers me the next day on Monday. He goes, you're welcome. And then an hour later, he texts me, hope you had a nice trip. And this is what I said back. I said, yes, I did. I also want you to know I appreciate everything you did for me this weekend, from getting me those flowers, the handmade pasta, and taking me to the beach and everything in between. That did not go unnoticed, and that was so sweet and thoughtful of you. With that said, I do think our ideas of what this weekend was going to be were not aligned, as well as our relationship values and styles are a little too different. I think yesterday in the car on the way back from New Jersey, I realized that, but I also respect that you were honest with me about how you felt/feel. I think nothing less of you after this weekend, and everything with your business/skincare line is so impressive, and I know you'll kill it. If I'm in Brooklyn anytime soon, I'll let you know. I personally thought that was very a mature and nice message.
Yes.
I could have been a fucking see you next Tuesday and said, like, have a nice life, like, thanks for nothing.
You're a creep.
Yeah, well,
I'm just not that kind of person, right? Like, I'm going to, and I genuinely do, like, whatever. I know it was a bad weekend, but, like, I have no ill will towards the guy. Like, whatever. Like, I wish you well, but, like, so I said
well,
that
text truly unleashed a man-child.
It
and
unleashed,
oh my
had
God,
me
what the fuck did he
literally
say?
freaking flustered texting her back.
I think most mature
my
31-year-old men would respond something like, I totally get it. Like,
Yeah.
I really wanted it to work between us, but I hear you. Like, I'm sorry things went the way they went.
Yep. That's
I'll
what
let
you would
know.
hope.
Like, that's what you would think, right? That's
Right.
what I would text someone back if a guy texted me this. He said, not really sure how to interpret this text. Why throw
pretty
in the,
clear-cut.
I'll let you know if I'm in Brooklyn part anytime soon. I said, to be a nice person. Did you want me to say, have a nice life instead? He said, direct is always better. And I gave it a thumbs up. He said, if you, literally, Julia, 8 messages in a row. If you need alone time after just one date, you don't like sleeping in the same bed as people, sexual chemistry is not high up on your values, which I never fucking said, then our styles are definitely different. So I hearted it. I thought that was it. I was like, okay. No, I thought.
Yeah.
Honestly, would like to know.
just keeps
Would like to know if you're always so reserved or if you just didn't like being around me. You're very nice, so that might be hard to answer. I just feel weird that our entire weekend amounted to that conversation in the car. You said you can't text and talk. I can't drive and talk. I don't know why he said that, but I feel like if you judged me strongly for that conversation in the car, I'd at least like to talk about it more. Our styles might be different, but perfect matches are hard to come by. I'm at the age where I'm willing to make compromises, but at your age, I wasn't. So I get you. The next text.
Where is this coming from? What?
Wait,
sir.
The next text, because I did at some point over the weekend bring up how he was a Gemini, but the next text after that, according to yahoo.com, Geminis and Capricorns can be a great romantic match.
Yahoo.com for me.
Even though they are very different in some ways. Like, so I
Man did a quick Google search.
No,
clicked
literally.
the first link that he could and just copy and pasted that on over.
Okay, so that's what he said, right? Those 8 messages.
Okay, wait.
in a row.
I just have a very I need to comment on this commentary.
Please.
He is panicking. Like
100%. It's a man that truly
is
has never been
insecure.
rejected or like fears rejection, and he's letting
Has
his
to
toxic
compensate.
masculinity
He
show.
never had a bad bitch, though.
That.
I'm just kidding.
Like, own whatever. Like, that's his perspective. Good for him.
Right.
You like backtracking and trying to compromise for
Yeah.
that is making you look even worse. At first, you're just a dick. Okay, you like sex, cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
We could just like part ways at that point.
Yeah, but
now
you are now scrambling.
he's scrambling, and I don't think he was expecting me to like. I don't know, whatever. Because at first when he was like, if you don't like alone time, blah, 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 then our styles are definitely different. Like, you should have just ended it there if you wanted to be a dick.
Yeah, done.
Right? And then just said that. No, he had to
The
send
rest
me-
of that, he just looks like a tomfoolery. Like,
he
that's
looks like
just,
an idiot.
So this is when I really kind of like, even this, like, I still thought was respectful, but I said to all of that, honestly, if you would have just respected me not wanting to stay at your place the whole weekend, we wouldn't have had an issue, especially considering until this weekend I hung out with you for literally 6 hours, ? Unfortunately, that left a bad taste in my mouth, and then you continue to gaslight me into thinking that me wanting my own space to stay when we're not even dating was weird, quote unquote, and odd. Just honestly bizarre to me that I flew out with my own time and my own money, and you felt like I owed you an explanation on any of that, LOL. I compromised for people I feel are worth my time and energy.
Hell
and respectfully, after this weekend, you don't fall into that category. I hope you find your person, but at this point, I promise it's not me.
I promise.
So fucking good.
This is what he says. Okay, you're right. Sorry about that. It was dumb of me for not understanding your point of view. I'm really sorry I wanted to be around you the whole weekend. oh, all right. And I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. And I'm sorry I wasted your weekend and money. I said, what's done is done. I have no ill will towards you. There's no point of going back and forth. So let's just leave it there. That's what I said. Like after he said all that, which I was like, you're a fucking dick, dude.
Like you're trying to get sympathy. It's not working.
Yeah.
So then
like, nobody feels bad for you.
Nobody feels bad for you.
No one feels bad. Bro, you're gaslighting me. It's the bro for me. So after I said, there's no point in going back and forth. Like, let's just.
This is like, I can't.
Like, he has to have the last word.
Yes.
Like, I wanted to know, because I didn't answer after this next slew of what I'm about to say, but I genuinely am curious to know if I would have kept answering. Like,
he would have kept going. He would have kept going.
But this is how it ended.
Toxic masculinity. He's just like scared.
Yeah.
He said, bro, you're gaslighting me into thinking that it was weird to expect you to sleep over for a night. So you're telling me we would have been fine if it wasn't for this sleeping over issue. Then there is a point of going back and forth. You slept at my place after knowing me for 2 hours, he's talking about the night that I first like met him when I was with Deja and Serena. He said, why would I not expect you to spend the night at my place if you're flying in to see me? We texted every day for a month. That was very real for me, and I developed real feelings for you. You are legit heartless. I was like,
I am, and I'm going to leave you on red.
Dude, I'm like, I've never had someone say that to me, but like, I'm going to add it to the book because I'm sorry, but like, you really do not.
You are not. Like, at that point, I was like, you need to send him like your whole pros and cons list and just blow his ass up because he is just so
you should just send it randomly.
Ridiculous and like what is going through your head right now?
Let's just unpack this whole situation.
Like what is going through your head?
That's the story. I'm sorry that took literally an hour, but like
how long did that take?
A long time.
It's okay.
But how fucking crazy is that?
Hailey, I know it sucked, but I'm glad you experienced that because I don't think any of us have ever experienced that fucking toxic of a fucking man that we don't like. Mostly toxicity, I feel like comes and develops over time. Like him, off the jump, he
literally,
like
crazy.
It was, and I've never dealt with that. I feel like far in relationships,
but you did a really good job of like
you did, and
I'm proud of myself that I stayed.
Exactly.
I will say, like, I was very much to the point where I'm like, I want to fucking leave. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay. I'm already here.
Yeah. And even, like, the fact that you did that, like this is going to sound what? You were so brave for actually, like, doing that. Because a lot of people, like, wouldn't go there and, like, try this out. And you tested out a connection. And, like, it kind of, like, not backfired on you, but like it didn't go well.
Yeah. It didn't
I mean, it
well,
wasn't because of you at any point, but
it wasn't the vibe.
You tried, and that's at least you said I did that and I tried, and this is what happened.
You really just did it for the plot. And man, you have a whole freaking novel now.
Yeah, no, literally have a novel.
You need to publish that, self-publish, put it on Amazon.
That is just
do something.
Were you expecting that? Honestly,
no.
The end, the text at the end really got me. Like that bro, you're gaslighting me. Like,
and
that's just
shocking. Man.
And then you are legit heartless. Am I okay? Like,
I'm sorry.
Think it just goes to show. I'm not saying all guys are like oblivious, but it's not even him being I just think just common sense. The common sense wasn't there at all weekend. And he was in fairy tale land, and you were down on earth, and it really showed.
He just wasn't like, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, I think everyone he's dated before, like, probably were just the type of girls that were like, which is fine, right? But they like did whatever he wanted to.
Yeah.
And, like, it was all about him.
And
right?
especially, like, I hate to say
they
it,
had
like,
no voice in the relationship.
Yeah, he has a lot of money, and I feel like that would maybe phase other girls, like, oh, well, he has money, like, let me just stick around. But, like, that doesn't matter when you're a dirtbag person.
That's
like,
a perfect example of, like, okay, yes, like, right, we all want a rich husband.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we do,
yeah.
right? Like, it just is what it is.
But at what cost?
That's
like,
why
literally.
I told the New Jersey house example, because I'm like, okay, like, he has a Bronco, like, all of this stuff, right? And I'm like, I feel like he really just wants to do, like, the icing on the cake and, like, show me he has money.
Yeah, and his friends have money, and he lives, like, that kind of lifestyle.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
actually, I don't give
you
a
got the wrong bitch.
Yeah,
you got the
like,
wrong,
you got the wrong
bitch.
Like, that's why he's called the fucking little Brooklyn Bronco man, because I just like, do you think I give a fuck that you drive a Bronco? Like, that's so cool. That's really so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either a guy has been literally obsessed with me, I guess, to this point, or they don't give a fuck about me. Like, I've literally had...
We need to meet you in the middle. Yeah.
And that will
we
happen.
need to meet in the middle somewhere.
Bizarre. This man thought I owed him an explanation for spending my own time, my own money. I'm like, I owe you nothing. If I would have gotten there Friday night and just decided, like, I don't want to see this guy, I fucking wouldn't not have had to.
And even if he did buy your flight, at that point, he's making you so uncomfortable. Again, you don't owe him anything.
Nothing.
No.
Not a damn thing. Yeah. Like,
regardless if you buy the flight
literally, regardless, you don't owe him shit.
Yeah.
And just like the way that he was coming at you, like,
and that was my first experience.
You're 31,
with,
sir.
Gaslighting. I know a lot of people have dealt with it different, but the reason I knew he was gaslighting me was because, and again, with it being my first experience, but when he was, saying like, oh, like, I think that's so odd that you like, want your own space, or weird when you're in a relationship, like when he was saying that and all those other things, and like, you're legit heartless, like with the text and all that, I'm thinking like, am I really, like, am I being unreasonable? Like, am I...
Yeah. You start to second guess yourself.
That's when I knew, because I was like, wait, no, like, this man is literally trying to gaslight the shit out of me. Like,
and even when he, like, literally forced you to spend the night.
That's so weird.
Like, grow the fuck up. Like,
also, read the room. I just can't believe, like, I literally, like, did not say anything to him. I just, like, took his clothes, put them on, and I, like, put my hood up like a child and watched, like, TikTok. I'm like, do not talk to me.
Yeah.
But yet he still was trying to talk to me. And better yet, he was like, want to have sex? Like,
no, bitch.
You think you're getting laid after that?
You better think twice, brother.
Bro.
Also, that's the story.
I am starting to switch the subject. But, like, you know how you were saying the point of how, like, because he has money and whatnot. Maybe that is what it is. And exactly how, like, you don't care. And I feel like that just kind of goes to show, like, what kind of person you are and, like, the values that you have.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk to you about, too.
Yes.
Is just in general, like, you decided to take the initiative, like, buy your own things, like, with your own money and all that stuff. But just in general, I feel like your relationship with money has started with, like, a very young age. And I just wanted to, like, kind of, because I feel like we all have the same perception of money.
Since I came out the womb.
Yeah, literally.
At least us in our friend group, like, we earn our own money.
Yeah. Everyone's very, like, hardworking, and, like, we are lucky with our parents.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like we're, like, living, like, blue collar lives, like, you know. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We all know what it's like to work hard and make our own money and whatever.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. I feel like we all have very similar backgrounds and stuff. So can you go a little bit into kind of like what your view on money is? And then you've always had 2 jobs growing up since you've been like 15, I feel like 16, whatever it is. Can you just go a little bit into that?
Yeah. So, well, that's a very loaded question. But I would say my main motto, if you're talking about the one that I say like a lot on vacation, is like money isn't real.
Yeah.
Go a little bit into that.
Okay, yeah. So like... Shy will appreciate that, because money it's not real. Like, it's literally, but it really is. It's a piece of paper. It's a printed piece of paper. Like, who decided that was going to be what
makes the world go around?
What we all gawk over, I don't know.
Literally.
I don't know. I just feel like I say that a lot with traveling, because obviously our friend group likes to travel, and I personally don't like traveling if I feel like I'm on a budget, right? And I'm very lucky to be able to say that. I'm very lucky you guys are also on the same page, and Shy's on the same page, and everyone we travel with is. But I want to live my experiences to the fullest. So I kind of try to not look at it in a sense of like, oh my God, like it's like a glass half full, half empty kind of thing, right? You could look at it as like, oh my God, I'm spending so much money. Like when we went to Europe for a month, right?
Yeah.
We're spending so much money on hotels and money to get around and money on food going out every night. Or you can look at it like, wow, I'm never going to do this again. Like we have this money to spend to do this for a month.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how I look at that. But I also try to look at that with other things in life. Like if I'm at a point where I'm like, shit, I really need like payday or like whatever, like my account's running low and I'm kind of like, shoot, like I really shouldn't go out to dinner, or I really shouldn't like buy that extra drink, or I really shouldn't like, you know, I'm like, life is short. Like if you have money, spend it. And I don't mean that irresponsibly, but it's like, you know. I don't think you should knock on yourself for buying things you want and doing things that make you happy.
But like how you just said that irresponsible, I feel like you don't do it irresponsibly because you have like put in so much hard work to make sure you have enough money to be able to do all these things for yourself.
Yeah. Right. It's not like you're just throwing money around and in debt.
Yeah, and you don't have it like
all this shit. Like you have it because I feel like it's the way that your outlook on it and like the whole 2 jobs thing and all that stuff. And you work hard for your money. So it's you should spend it however the fuck you want.
I appreciate that. No, I think that's like, I don't know. I always just, and again, that is why I have 2 jobs because, I mean, I still live at home, but you guys know I like to shop. And even though I don't really do much like on the weekends or during the week, it's like, you know, traveling and doing all that stuff. We do spend a lot of money on.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I was getting my nails done the other day, and the girl I've gone to forever, I haven't seen her in like 3-4 months because she was in school. And when I went to get my nails done, she was like, "Oh, are you still at your corporate job and like still at Hooters?" I was like, "Yeah, like I'm still at both." And, you know, like I work whatever, Monday through Friday at my corporate job, and I just work like 1 day a week at Hooters. And she was like, "You work so hard." Aww, but she said it like nicely, like, you know, it wasn't like, "Oh, you work so hard," like sarcasm, but I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That's really nice, like thanks." She's like, "No, like you do though." But I feel like that is one of the like biggest compliments to me. And I'm not saying like I need to be like patted on the back for like going to work. Like people have it a lot worse than me, right? Like some people have 3 jobs, like they work 7 days a week, but I'm like, honestly, for where I'm at in my life and for like still living at home and like doing all this stuff, I'm like, I guess I do like work like decently hard. So,
right.
I don't know.
Do you know where like that mindset kind of stemmed from? Or did you just like, do you just like kind of enjoy the routine and being busy? Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's so not like weird talking about like this because I feel like you guys work just as hard as me and like in that sense and like all of our friends do. But I don't know. I feel like, well, one, I'm a Capricorn. And I'm not really like a big like zodiac person, but I do feel like from what I've read and what I've seen from my other friends that are Capricorns, like money is a very big thing to them and like they're very goal oriented. So I feel like in terms of where it came from though, I mean, both my parents are obviously like really hard workers.
Yeah.
And like my sister has always been like a hard worker, like with jobs she's had. So I think that stems a lot of it, but also again just becoming older and realizing like I want to do things and like I don't want to have to like beg my mom for money and
of course.
Right.
You know, and I also just like staying busy. That's another big thing. I cannot be alone with my thoughts because it's a scary place out there. No, but really, like when I'm off work for a Saturday for like whatever, if it's like a dinner party we're doing that I take off for or someone's birthday, like it's almost weird to me because I'm like, what am I doing? Like even when we're on vacation sometimes I forget it's like a Saturday night and I'm like, this is so weird, like I should be like working, and I feel like I feel guilty sometimes when I don't, especially if I'm at home because I'm like, damn, like I really should just work, because sometimes I'll give up shifts and I'm like, fuck this, like but yeah, I don't know, I feel like that it comes from a lot of different places. But
like then how do you balance that with like work life if you really technically only have 1 day off a week, which is Sunday, unless like you work a Sunday morning and have Saturday night off, but you really only have that 1 day. So how do you make sure to still prioritize like your family and your friends and your own self while you're kind of working pretty much every day of the week?
I definitely like think I could be better at times at doing that, but like I would say like overall, like friend wise, I mean, again, I feel like I do stuff like on Fridays a lot, or I try to. And again, like I still will always try, if there is something going on a Saturday, like I'll take off work for it, and like if it's downtown I'll go downtown, or if it's around here I'll, you know, be around here. I see my family like during the week because everyone works at home, so like I feel like that's kind of, it'd be different if I didn't live at home still, because then, you know, whatever. So yeah, I feel like prioritizing is just, I don't know. It's just, you just have to do what you could do. Like if you're not tired, and like, I mean, again, Sundays I will sometimes do stuff with friends, but I will say a lot of times, like I know this friend group does a lot of stuff. I know I'm not really there all the time, like for book club and like other little like dinner things we do, and but I like try, but sometimes I'm just like tired. And I'm very much so like a person, I'm like, if I am over like overworked and like a social aspect, like I just get so I think everyone does, but
you get so sick easily too. Like I feel if you're really stressed or you are overtired, your body, like your immune system, like shuts down.
Literally, Hailey is sick all the fucking time.
So it definitely, you definitely need your rest in that time. Alone,
my
especially.
body knows if I'm like trying to. It literally knows when and I'm a people pleaser too, but like it knows when I'm trying to like do too much shit because it's like you gotta chill.
So especially now, like in your 20s, because I feel like as we get older, we kind of prioritize different things with our money. What do you, I know you said like traveling and clothes, but is there anything else that's like more specific that you are really like saving up your money for to spend during this like time in your life?
Yeah, I will say like it's hard because I felt like I had a pretty, like when I got out of school in 2020, I felt like I had a pretty good like savings like built up, and I was really looking to kind of do what you've done, Amory, right? Like buy something. But I just feel like everything right now is so expensive, so I will not lie, like I've dipped into my savings a lot, right? Like to help me like travel, to help pay. I also have like a ton of student loans, so I need to like pay back those, and that's probably going to take a while. And so I would say right now, like I really would like to get my car paid off. I think I'm like close to doing that. I think I have like 2 more years of paying off my car, which I'm like, damn, like thinking about how much I actually paid for that car. I'm like, that's insane. I've almost paid it off, but I'm like, that's a shit ton of money. So that, and then
but that is something you really wanted. That car, I feel like, was your dream car and stuff too.
So I'm like, damn, like it just went by fast. But that, and then like my student loans, and I would say just like getting enough money to maybe not buy something right now, because I feel like, Julia, you can attest to this, but the market is like not great. We're like basically in a recession, right? Like it is kind of hard though. So yeah, I mean, probably that, and just saving up enough to like get out on my feet, because I'm very spoiled right now with living. The fact that I don't have to buy groceries and like do any of that. I'm like, why would I
give that up?
Right now? Why would I give that up?
Okay, so just to wrap this up really quick, what advice would you give people in their 20s kind of with the whole situation we just talked about?
I would say that you need to be true to yourself. Do what makes you comfortable. And I would say like money wise, right? Like you make it, you spend it kind of thing. But you know, like it's okay to spend your money, and I don't think you have to feel like one of these people that's like, you know, oh my God, I have to save and do this. And also don't compare yourself, because that's also going to take you down when it comes to money. Like, oh my God, this bitch is so rich, has so much money. You just got to not like do that to yourself and go down that rabbit hole. So
Okay, you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your life story with us of what happened to you.
And your money and everything. Thank you, Hailey. This was, guys, behind the scenes, this one's a doozy. If you notice, it's dark now.
It's fine.
Okay. They're going to clip half of it. Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. See you next week. Bye.